Hey everyone! In this video, I'll be ranking every single BFDI finalist, including second placers, third placers, and of course, the winners. Now, for some seasons, I'm not going to include third places because they're technically not finalists. For example, Tennis Ball and Teardrop are, they weren't in the final challenge, I guess. Or they were, but they weren't in the final voting, at least. So yeah, I won't be including them here. Anyways, I did make a previous video where I ranked solely winners, not finalists, so feel free to check that out if you want to. Anyways, let's start with the ranking, with number 10 being Fiery. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if this is a hot take, no pun intended, but Fiery is just not a good winner. I mean, I genuinely believe that J&J did not want Fiery to win. Like, this season was made for Bubble to win, which, I'll get to her later, but Fiery was just not a good winner. He was basically comedic relief for the entirety of season 1. And yeah, there were just better options. I just don't think Fiery would have been a good winner. Coming at number 9, we have Gelatin. Now, I'll be honest, Gelatin is not a good finalist. I just didn't really like the direction they took with his character, especially during the latter half of Post-Split. They made him like this more mature version of himself, but it just doesn't work. Gelatin was pretty much comedic relief for the entirety of BFP pre-split and a lot of post-split too, so this sudden switch in his character is just not nice, not fun. I did not like it. And yeah, I just kind of think it ruins his finalist's reputation. I have no idea, but yeah. And right next to him, I'll be putting Fern. Because he's not a bad winner. He's just inoffensive, I guess. But yeah, just a boring, predictable winner. And there are better options again, such as Sticker and even Sidewalkie. Fern is just the boring option. He wasn't bad during BFDIE, but I just don't think he was a very deserving winner. I would have liked it more if the others won, Sticker, or even someone like Jamie. I think she deserved it much more. Anyways, at 7th place, I'll be putting Leafy. Now, if I was biased, she would be much higher up on this list. But no, yeah, as a finalist, she's just mid. I will say she was relevant throughout BFDI. She had a good run, she had fun interactions, but her winning the entire thing would have been kind of boring, just like how Fern won. I mean, I just think this season was made for Bubble to win. And yeah, I just think having Leafy win would have been a bit boring. And she's just not very rootable. I mean, she's this nice character, a fake nice character, who expects to be rewarded for her behavior. And I just don't think it would have been fun to have her. It would have been fun to see her get rewarded, an entire island for being this fake nice character. Anyways, in 6th place, I'm gonna put, I guess Flower. She was definitely the better option versus Gelatin, since her character just wasn't derailed that hard. She was just the same throughout the season. She didn't really get better, but she didn't get worse either. And she was definitely a bit of an unexpected winner. I mean, she was gonna get voted out in BFP 22, but there was just a 1 vote difference that saved her. So her winning the entire season was a surprise to me. But I'm not gonna complain. She's not a bad winner, I guess. But that's not really saying much, if I'm being honest. I mean, most characters in PvP post-split would have been bad winners. So yeah, she's just fine. Anyways, coming in at number 5, I'll be putting Sidewalkie. Now, I'll be honest, Sidewalkie was actually, would have been a very interesting winner. I just don't really see much winning material in him. He's just, he's your average mean character. I'm not saying mean characters can't win. I think, again, it would have been very interesting to see him win, but I just wouldn't have been a very satisfying win, in my opinion. I don't know, it just would have been a very... Like, I've seen the alternate endings, and Sidewalkie's ending is just kind of mediocre. Like, it just, he doesn't really do much. He's just, yeah, I won. And that's it. I mean, the same thing kind of happened with the other two, but at least more was going on in their endings. But for Sidewalk, it was just a mid ending, if I'm being honest. Anyways, right next to him, I'll be putting... I'll be putting Sticker. Because, Sticker is honestly probably like the best winner option in BFDIE, or at least one of the best. But I think since, BFDIE only has 10 episodes, it kind of has a bit of a disadvantage here compared to the other finalists, who, had more episodes to prove themselves and show why they should win, where Sticker only had 10 episodes. But again, he's a good winner. He did what he could, and I did enjoy a bunch of his interactions, like when he talked to Rose, Fern, Sidewalkie, Beach Ball. Yeah, he was a good character. But I can't really place him higher than this either. Anyways, we've reached the top 3. And at number 3, I'm gonna be putting Bubble. I think Bubble definitely deserved to win BFDI. I mean, she was such a rootable underdog, and seeing her overcome a bunch of obstacles as a Bubble who pop in an instant, I think was very fun to watch. The beginning of the pencil match Bubble Alliance was really cool to see, and yeah, I just really enjoyed Bubble during BFDI, and she definitely deserved to win. So it does suck that she got 3rd place. And at number 2, I'll be putting Needle, who honestly was such a good finalist. Like, honestly, I wouldn't have been mad if either Book or her won. They both deserve it. And yeah, Needle, had a lot. She had a very big drive to win. She put a lot of effort into challenges. She had fun interactions. The whole picking between Feast Mart and Wobunch was fun, I guess. And yeah, she was just a good character during BFDIA. I can't really say much more than that. And at number 1, if you couldn't tell already, is Book. And this is really close. I mean, I would say Needle and Book are like interchangeable on this list. But I just like Book a bit more than Needle. I think, she has more character to her, more substance. And yeah, I think she represents BFDIA better as a whole, if I'm being honest. I mean, not to mention that she literally had an entire game dedicated towards her, being 5B. And, she had fun interactions during the season. And genuinely, for a while, she felt like the main character, like an early BFDI pre-hiatus, I guess. She was generally such a good character, and she was very relevant. I think people tend to forget that. She was a very relevant character during pre-hiatus BFDIA. And yeah, that's pretty much it, and here's the final list. Thanks for watching.